Welcome back to At Home with Roby. I'm Patrick McIsaac, president of Roby Electric, along with Trent Haston, president and CEO of the Roby family of companies. Trent, we got Joe Jensen, ReNu Energy Solutions in the house.
Well, we talked a little bit about this in the first segment. You're out of my league here, so I'm a greenhorn at technology and especially technology in the energy sector. So, Joe, it's great to have you. I hope I can learn something and our audience can learn something today.
Did you say green? Was that greenhorn? Was that strategic? I like that use of the word green since we're talking about solar energy here, Trent, and Earth Day. We just celebrated Earth Day earlier in the week, right?
I have been working on my ability to subliminally trick people. So, yes, that was it. No, Joe, welcome.
Thank you, Trent. Thanks for having me. Thanks, Patrick. So really, solar is actually a pretty straightforward technology. You're taking the sun's energy and making electricity out of it. It's been around for a very, very long time, since the mid-century of 1900 or 1950s. So really, you're just taking the sun. It's got silicone wafers under glass. It's the same technology. They're just making improvements on how well and how efficient they're able to take the sunlight's energy and power your home.
So, in your world, a lot of people say, "Oh, I can sell my power back to the energy company." You guys have the ability, if you put solar panels. Number one, I'd like to know what percentage of your business is commercial, residential, where you're putting solar panels on houses or on buildings and such. And then also, it basically goes into a energy bank, right? And then you can trade it?
Yeah, a little bit like that. So we do commercial. It's about 10% of our business, but it is a growing market. I think in 2017, the commercial in North Carolina is going to be a huge opportunity. There's a lot of roof space, but 90% of our business is homes and also new home construction. So what we're looking at is a good south-facing roof. That's where you're going to get the best production. You're going to get the sunrise all day long and the sunset. So really, if you go looking at the payback and all of that, that's your best opportunity to harness the sun. There's no such thing really as a bank. You could buy batteries. That technology is developing rapidly. But the way most of our customers are going to harness the energy and store it is on the grid. So, for instance, Duke Energy has something called net metering. So what happens is you're going to be producing most of your power in the middle of the day when the sun's high in the sky. Well, most people are going to be at work or at school, so they're not going to be using that energy. So that excess energy goes off to the grid, and you get a credit towards your future use. So when you come home at night, you pull those credits off first. When you exhaust all those credits, then you start to buy your power. So it's kind of a balance.
You sound like my wife. That's what I meant.
Okay, yeah, exactly.
I think you did a good job of explaining it. And you mentioned something about the batteries. We got to have a good laugh or two while we're in here, Joe.
Yeah.
And I guess Elon Musk and Tesla have really put a lot out there as far as just battery systems that are going to become available. To your point, they're not quite there yet, but they're getting there. Is that something that you see people going to down the road? I mean, is that going to be a popular option for new homes, existing homes, remodels, that kind of thing, where instead of saving the credits to your conversation earlier, you would basically, then just load these batteries?
Yeah, absolutely. You just integrate the battery into the solar PV system. So, Tesla has a Powerwall supposed to be available February 2017. The product that we actually are installing a lot right now is called the Sonnen. It's a German company. Sonnen actually stands for sun in German, so it's kind of straightforward. You're using, I think the best application in this area is for backup, kind of like generators, how you guys install generators in homes. If the grid goes down, you're not able to actually access your solar energy. So you actually have the battery there to allow your solar to be accessible.
So you are doing some batteries now?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just saying that you bank the energy credits.
Yeah.
Kind of is what I was.
Absolutely.
Which I think is really cool. Do you drive a Tesla?
I wish.
You wish. Okay.
Yeah, I actually had the opportunity to drive one last week. My customer allowed me to do that, which was pretty cool.
Well, I'm looking at your logo. We're big on branding, and we did a show a couple weeks ago talking about branding. I love your logo. Go. How can people go on your website? How do they check your logo out?
Yeah, it's ReNuEnergySolutions.com. ReNu EnergySolutions.com, or you could call 704-525-6767.
You know, it's kind of a crux, right? You'd like to buy a Tesla and put that beautiful logo on it, but then people would think you're you're making too much money, so you can't do it. You got to put on an old F-150.
Or a nice energy efficient car that's probably like a Prius.
Yeah, our F-150s aren't really
not
energy
8
efficient.
miles to the gallon.
Yeah,
Exactly.
the 5.2 liter V8. But let's continue down this road, Joe. I mean, I think it's one of those things that we like to. I mean, I think you do a very good job of simplifying what solar is. I mean, it's not difficult. You basically put some paneling on the roof that are super sleek nowadays. It's not this gigantic monstrosity on your roof like it once was, right?
Yep.
The sun, which is a direct current, DC current, hits the panels. You put an inverter in,
Yep.
convert that over to AC, which is what we use now, and then from that point, you're basically powering your electric system with a new meter. I mean, that's really the gist of it, isn't it?
It is. It's as simple as that. And most systems nowadays have monitoring included. So, I mean, I think when you're turning a light on, if you have solar, you don't know if it's coming from the grid or if it's coming from solar.
And you don't care.
You don't. Yeah, as long as you have electricity, then that's all that really matters. So most of our systems nowadays have monitoring included. That really helps people understand how they're using energy, so you can see the consumption and then also how
Right.
it produces on a daily, weekly, monthly, or yearly.
Now,
Yeah.
is that like a phone app that you can set up with your monitoring?
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Wow. Everything's going to the phone, Trent.
Everything is. Patrick and I have been talking about that lately. Aesthetics, Patrick touched on it. I mean, growing up, if you saw somebody that had solar, did it in the 70s or 80s, they were real big and bulky and stood off the roof with like a foot. It seemed like it. And probably very inefficient relative to what there is today. Do people have an option on styles of solar panels, or do you have one style, one brand that you're using? Is there an aesthetic component when you're talking to clients about it?
Absolutely. I think we take every client, we approach them differently. We talk to them, we ask them questions, understand what their goals are, and then we develop a system for them based on that. So sometimes aesthetics are very, very important. So you have a really, really sleek looking module. It could be all black. Or you can go to a more cost-effective one that still actually looks really, really good, but it's not quite as sleek. So there's different options based on what the ultimate customer's goal is. We take a very subtle approach to our customers. We're not pushy in the house. We really just want to consult them and then really show them the differences and what the different technologies do.
I hear you.
And a lot of that has to do with where the south-facing roof of your home is. Right? Obviously, if it's pointing at the backyard, maybe the aesthetics aren't as important. If it's facing towards the street, then obviously that becomes a little bit more important, the way it looks and the way it sits down. Joe, do you guys have to ever tackle through? I mean, I'm thinking about this as a homeowner. I mean, HOAs. Did you ever run into any issues with HOAs having problems with customers installing solar?
Yes. HOAs can be, I mean, obviously anytime you're making some changes to your home
Right.
on the outside, we have to get HOA approval. So we walk through that process with the customer. A lot of times it's, you can't really put it on the front of the house. Some HOAs allow it. Majority of them do not.
Got it.
So we work through that process and allow them to make the best choice for them. There's really 3 things we look at. How many kilowatt hours do you use on a month-to-month basis? And then where is your roof access and how is it being pointed in the direction of the sun? Those things really play a big point in designing a system.
So are there some houses when you take a call, I bet you could look online and go to Google Earth and see which way the house is facing, but are there some when you look at it, you're like, oh my gosh, this is like the pinnacle of, this is like the greatest solar opportunity ever.
Yes.
I'm going to look like a hero for these folks.
We qualify all of our customers. So when we have a lead, you go to our website, ReNuEnergySolutions.com. You can put in, request a consultation, and we'll actually walk through that process and make sure that they're a good qualified candidate. If they have a great south-facing roof, yes, our ears perk up.
So, I mean, openly, there's some houses that really would, putting solar panels on it wouldn't make sense.
Actually, Google has a great tool right now. It's called Google Project Sunroof. You can go in and type your address in, and it'll actually show you what your solar access is. The more yellow you have on your roof, the better. If you've got a lot of purple, then we may have to talk about tree mitigation.
Wow. Man.
Say that again. It's Google
Project Sunroof.
Google Project Sunroof. I bet you that every person listening to this is going to go check that out when they get home, because I sure am. That's pretty cool. I mean, they're to that point that they can actually tell you that. Joe, tell us again, how do we get in touch with you? How do we get in touch with ReNu Energy Solutions? We're coming up on a break, so for those that can't stay around for the third and fourth segments, tell us how to get in touch with Joe and ReNu.
Yeah, ReNuEnergySolutions.com, ReNu, and the telephone number is 704-525-6767.
All right, folks, you're listening to At Home with Roby. We'll be right back.